And that's when the monkey stepped on the roller skates. The roller skates were right by the stairs, so he fell down the stairs, and then his diaper flew off, and it went everywhere. Everywhere.
We're talking about something that bothers me about modern video games.
Okay.
And that is the button prompt.
A button prompt is when you're playing the game and a thing comes on the screen, the bottom of the screen, that tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. Like, specifically, which button you press. It doesn't even say you have to jump over this ledge, figure out how to do it. It says, press X to jump over the ledge, and you will jump over the ledge without having to think about it at all, in any way, shape, or form. He'll just jump over the ledge, but you have to press X first. That's the way you do that. Just turn your brain off, hit X, and the game will keep playing.
So here is my exaggerated thesis statement in order to get people to click on this video.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers for the NES is a more immersive game than Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Jack, that sounds like an outlandish clickbait statement.
It does! There's many things about Call of Duty that I find bothersome. Mostly, it's a super bland story, but we're not talking about the story. What happens is you're playing Call of Duty, and all of a sudden, a big story moment happens. Let's say, for example, your best friend was killed in action.
Lift it off. You gotta go now. Mitchell!
No, press X to save your friend. That's what I want to do.
Does it actually say that?
No.
Oh.
That was my joke. But then all of a sudden you jump out of your cutscene and you're in a playable scenario again. But you only have one option. That is to press a button to pay respects. I mean, how silly of a game to say just press X to pay respects.
Yeah, well, Call of Duty right now has the famous example of that with the press F to pay respects. But other games have done this.
It really solidified with our review of Alien Isolation. I'm pointing to, you can click on here to see our review.
I didn't get one.
No.
I got something completely unrelated.
Oh.
Is that Italian? Because, horror, you need to be immersed, you need to feel like you're there so you can be scared when the monster jumps out at you. But constantly during that game, you try to open a door and hit X, spin the controller button around, hit B, and you're the controller. You're out of the game. You're out of the world.
Absolutely. Even if you know the buttons by muscle memory, so you don't have to look at the controller.
The picture of it is on the screen.
Absolutely. The picture of it, and so that reminds you that you are just a person holding a controller. You're not in the game anymore. Yeah. You're just a guy in a room.
Well, where do they start? Where's the first button prompt? It started with the QuickTime events, I believe.
It did start with the QuickTime events.
Shemu?
Shemu.
Shit, your history.
Yeah!
That's it.
So the big one for me was Resident Evil 4.
After all, you and I both know where we come from.
See, the one I think of is God of War. Because God of War wasn't just the cutscenes too. It was there was these little interactive things that would happen during battles. If I remember correctly, you're fighting the boss, and then in the middle of the boss battle, it wasn't really a separate cutscene, but you'd have to hit X to rip the giant serpent's mouth open. It's the illusion of control. You're not actually controlling the game at that point. The game is giving you the inputs, and you press the right button so that the game script will execute the fancy action that is going on in the screen. And the God of War style button prompt, you you hit X, and then when you hit X, Kratos will jump on top of the Cyclops and shove the sword in his eye, and then he'll rip the eye out, and then he'll take the optic cord around the eye and choke the monster with it, because you hit X, so you did that thing.
And this is where the immersion comes in. When you're playing other games without the button prompts, you get to choose how you are going to complete an objective. And that's why I can say something like Super Mario Brothers is more immersive. 2 buttons. There's run and there's jump. But it has momentum, it has some physics to the world. To me, when I get into a longer session of Mario, I can feel myself jump. Like, I can feel my muscles tensing when I'm trying to make a big jump. Another example would be something like Super Meat Boy. Great jumping and running physics. I can feel the wind beneath my little meaty feet when I make a super long jump in Super Meat Boy. It feels like I'm jumping. And even though Mario is this little pixel man who obviously doesn't look anything like me or like a real person for that matter, I can feel him jumping more than I can feel me shooting in Call of Duty.
Okay. Here's the thing though with button prompts though in Super Mario. Super Mario is a simple game. Not that it's a bad game, I'm not saying that at all, but you only need run and jump. Really, practically, you only need jump. He could auto-run in theory, and you could condense Mario down to 1 button. Let's say there were more controls in Mario. Let's say they wanted to have the spin jump from World. Yeah. What do? Is there a when you need to spin jump on something in Mario NES? Would they do like a little NES-style button prompt? Yes. What do you do when you need more buttons than your controller has? What do you want, basically, what do you want the modern game devs to do?
What I want them to do is trust us as gamers to figure it out. I have an example ready of a game that has both done this well and poorly. Okay. I've been recently playing Batman Arkham Asylum, and the fighting mechanics in Arkham Asylum is really great. Mm-hmm. Very fun, very fluid, combos, counterattacks, blocks. It's really great. When you do your first couple of fights, there are button prompts above the bad guys. You have to press B to hit this bad guy. Oh, this guy's about to hit you. You have to press this button to counterattack, right? Mm-hmm. But as you play the game, the button prompts go away. It's a little bit of a cartoonish visual cue, but it's something that does not take you out of the world.
How is that really any different than just having the button that says A? It's a visual cue on the screen.
So it's like you see the big A button, right? What does that remind you of?
It reminds you of the controller you're holding in your hand. It brings you back into the real world. Suddenly you're not in the game, you're, the controller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In that moment, you are no longer Batman. You're just some asshole sitting alone in his room pretending to be Batman. Batman is also a game that does something that annoys the very crap out of me, which is every time you come up to a vent, you have to tap the A button really fast to open the vent. And the game tells you that every single goddamn vent. Okay, ready? We're gonna play a fun game. It's called Where Should We Go? Let's see, where should we go? Oh, the big glowing thing! Let's go to the big glowing thing. All that does is wash away the wonderful world they've created. You're Batman. You're fighting guys, you're solving crimes, but you can't remember how to open a vent.
What you are talking about kind of reminds me of Thief and where the evolution of gaming is going, right? In Thief, you have a blackjack, right? And you sneak up behind enemies and you knock them out. Now in Thief 3, once you get close to the back of the guard, because they assume you're an idiot, he raises his hand up. Okay. Now there's still no button prompts that says X, but you know there's a visual cue that now you can hit the blackjack button. First there was no prompt at all. Right. You just got behind, and if you're in range, you can knock them out. If you don't, you just kind of whiff, and you look like an idiot. But you kind of know where the range is. You got to be close to knock somebody out. Sure. Then you get to the third game, and they think you need a cue to do it, so the arm comes up. And then now gaming, they think we're so dumb. Now they tell you what buttons to press to do these things. Yes.
It's a visual cue that your character is ready to strike, and that's less hand-holding than, say, what if Thief, you walked up close to a guard and said, "Press B now."
I haven't played the new one, but I would not be surprised at all if they do that. Why are they doing this? Because we know from the past, from these things we've brought up, that they don't have to do this. Right. So why?
I think this is kind of left over from when gaming wasn't the dominant entertainment form. Everyone has a gaming system. Everyone plays games now, but these bigger development studios, they move slowly. They don't adapt as well. And so they still assume that no one knows how to hold the goddamn controller anymore. They still assume that nobody plays games.
They couldn't possibly be that dumb, could they? How could you give your audience that little credit?
It would be akin, imagine you're watching a movie, okay? And there's a bad guy on screen. Here, we'll put up a movie here, right? Some cheap-ass movie. And a little title comes up that says, "This is the bad guy." And you're getting into the plot, and all of a sudden the title comes and goes, "This is a bad guy. He's gonna do something bad." Because this movie studio doesn't want you to forget that this guy is the bad guy, right? He thinks so little of you that you don't have the mental power to remember that there is a bad guy on screen doing something bad. That's what button prompts are. They are the worst form of hand-holding.
In certain types of games, yes. I mean, I don't know that every game has to be an immersive experience. I think you could have some lighter games, like No More Heroes comes to mind, where when you slice at the baddies, there's a little spinning arrow that tells you where to swing the remote, and it's kind of an arcadey game, and I think it's fine there. But if you're doing something where they want it to be realistic and you're a part of the world, sure, when that happens, it's going to take you out, even if it's just a little bit.
Sure, I'm trying to think of a more extreme example, like DDR.
yeah, like DDR. That's the game.
There are arrows on the screen. You have to press the arrow under your feet. No one's going to get caught up in DDR.
So we're talking about immersion, and they do these things so you can feel immersed, right? They don't want you to have a cutscene and to look at the casket. They want you to, as a player, to look at the casket. So they do that, illusion of control, hit X. Yes. You notoriously hate cutscenes, Jack. Would this be less silly as a cutscene? Would you actually? Here's a question, Jack. Would you prefer this to be a cutscene?
I would, because what this is faux gameplay. This is pretend gameplay, right? Like, I can't make any choices here as a character or as a gamer. So then, what's the game part of this thing right here, right?
What you know what you should do?
What?
Just run around in a circle during this guy's funeral.
Okay.
Just run around in a circle. Run around.
Can I crouch? I can't crouch. I wanted to kneel next to the widow and be like, "I'm so sorry. He was my friend too. I loved him."
Can you at least even talk to them, or no?
No.
They're just props.
Can I just leave? I'm just gonna go this way without paying respects. You go from a cutscene to this one scenario, and the exit was blocked by MPs. I was literally trapped in a box until I hit a button. And then the most insulting part about it is after you pay your respects and you walk out, it goes to another cutscene. Don't you care about this, Rich? Don't you?
No, I don't care at all.
Don't you care about your friend, Rich? Your friend.
the guy we just met.
And so there is a ton of money in games right now, right? And these games that do dumb down the user experience are making a buttload of money. But it's hard to tell whether that's just influx of new blood or whether that's what people want.
I think young industries in general, like movies or comic books or video games, right? Early on, there's a golden age where nobody knows what the fuck they're doing and everything is experiment. And what if we do this? Oh, this is interesting. And then things kind of get sorted out and then money takes over. Corporate interest, and let's dumb this down. Well, more people will see it if we do X number of times. And the creativity kind of goes, whoa, we're going to do this thing that people like over and over again.
So right now, video games are following the spreadsheet.
They're following the spreadsheets. Well, this target demographic, they're not too bright. They don't know to hit the B button when they go there. I want to make sure that everyone in the audience paying money for this game knows how to get over that hill, so there better be a little button that comes up that says B, jump over hill, do that in the game. We need that.
But sir, they've already had to jump
The spreadsheet tells me what to do. We follow the spreadsheet.
So Rich, would you recommend button prompts?
I don't know that there's a final thoughts for this. It's just kind of a whole discussion. It's a thing we did.
Right, it's like an
we had an
artsy-fartsy.
exploration of button prompts.
Oh, what? Press B to end episode?